Aaron lived in a small village surrounded by hills and forests. The village was quiet and peaceful, with only the sound of the wind moving through the trees and the occasional call of a nightbird. Aaron loved quiet nights the most. He often sat on the hill behind his small home, staring at the sky full of stars. He liked to imagine what was beyond the stars and what kind of creatures might live on other planets. He was always curious, always dreaming. One evening, the sky looked different. The stars twinkled more brightly than usual and the air felt thicker, almost as if it was filled with anticipation. Aaron lay on the soft grass looking up when suddenly a bright light moved across the sky. At first he thought it was a shooting star, but the light did not fade. Instead it grew bigger, changing colors from blue to green to purple. It moved slowly, hovering above the forest near the village. Aaron's heart began to race. He had never seen anything like it. He stood up and tried to follow the light with his eyes. It descended slowly, stopping just above a clearing in the forest. The air around him seemed to hum, and a strange warmth spread across his skin. Aaron felt both excited and scared. He knew he should go back home, but his curiosity was stronger than his fear. He grabbed his small flashlight and ran toward the forest. The forest was dark, and the trees cast long, strange shadows on the ground. Aaron's flashlight moved in slow circles, lighting up the trunks and leaves. The deeper he went, the quieter it became. Even the night birds seemed to have stopped singing. The usual sounds of the forest were gone. It was as if the forest itself was holding its breath, waiting for something. Finally, he reached the clearing. What he saw made him stop in his tracks. In the center of the open space was a silver object, round and smooth, reflecting the moonlight. It was unlike anything he had ever seen before. It had no wings, no doors that he could see, and yet it seemed to hover slightly above the ground. The light coming from it was soft like moonlight, but it glowed from within. Aaron could feel a strange energy in the air, almost like electricity, but gentle. He took a careful step forward. The grass under his feet felt warmer than usual. As he moved closer, a panel on the object opened slowly with a soft hiss. A blue beam of light shot out, landing on him. Aaron felt frozen in place. He wanted to move, to run back to the safety of his home, but his legs did not obey. From the blue light emerged a figure. At first, Aaron could not see clearly. It looked like a woman, but her features were not entirely human. Her skin shimmered with silver and blue tones, and her eyes glowed softly, like stars trapped in crystal. She moved gracefully, almost floating above the ground. Her long hair sparkled like strands of silver, and she wore a gown that seemed to be made of light. Aaron swallowed hard. He had read about aliens in books, but he had never imagined meeting one. He whispered to himself, "Am I dreaming?" But everything felt real. The soft wind, the glowing figure, the humming energy, and the clearing. The figure stopped a few steps away from him. She looked at him with her glowing eyes, and though Aaron could not understand her completely, he felt that she was studying him carefully. Suddenly he heard a voice in his mind, clear and calm, as if someone had spoken directly inside his head. "Do not be afraid, human," the voice said. Aaron's heart skipped a beat. He looked around, but there was no one else. The voice was coming from the figure itself. Aaron's fear mixed with curiosity. He managed to whisper, Who are you?" The figure tilted her head slightly, her glowing eyes fixed on him. "I am Lyra, Queen of the Sailan Empire," she replied. Her voice was gentle, but it carried authority, like someone used to being listened to by many. Aaron felt his hands tremble. "Sailan Empire?" he repeated, not understanding, but his voice sounded braver than he felt. I've never heard of it." Lyra's eyes softened slightly. "Few humans have," she said. "We travel across the stars, learning, observing, and avoiding a great danger that follows us." Aaron felt a shiver run down his spine. "Danger? What danger?" he asked. Lyra's gaze moved to the sky where the stars twinkled silently. "A darkness that consumes everything in its path," she said. "It leaves nothing behind." The words made Aaron's stomach tighten. He could not imagine a darkness that could destroy planets. Why are you here?" he asked quietly. Lyra stepped closer, and her presence felt warm and powerful at the same time. "Our ship was damaged," she said. "We need to repair it before we can leave. But humans must not see us except for you." Aaron blinked. "Me? Why me?" Lyra's eyes met his again. "Because you are alone. You will not tell others. And because your heart is curious and brave." She paused for a moment. "Are you willing to help us?" Aaron wanted to say yes immediately, but his mind was spinning. I think I can, he stammered. Lyra nodded slightly as if satisfied. Then you will see the truth of the universe, human. You will see things few have ever seen. Behind her, smaller figures began to appear. They were not as tall as Lyra, but their presence was strong and graceful. They wore suits that shimmered like silver water and carried glowing tools. They moved silently, checking parts of the silver object and adjusting lights and panels. Aaron watched them, amazed. Everything about these beings was precise, calm, and beautiful. For a long while, no one spoke. Aaron simply watched the light, the figures, and the strange energy in the clearing. He felt a strange mix of fear, wonder, and excitement. He realized that he was seeing something that could change everything he knew about the world. Finally, Lyra spoke again, her voice gentle but firm. You must understand, human, that we are peaceful, but the danger that follows us is not. Aaron nodded quickly, trying to understand. I will do whatever I can to help, he said. The Queen looked at him closely, her glowing eyes studying his face. Good, she said. Tomorrow we will begin repairs. And soon, you will see why the universe is bigger and more mysterious than any human story you have heard. Aaron felt a thrill of excitement and fear. He went home that night, his mind racing with questions but also filled with wonder. He could not stop thinking about Lyra, the silver ship, and the strange light in the forest. He knew his life had changed forever. That night, as he lay in bed, he stared out of his window at the stars, imagining what other mysteries the universe might hold. And somewhere far above, a silver light floated silently, watching the earth, waiting for tomorrow. The morning sun rose slowly over the small village, casting a golden glow across the hills. Aaron woke up with a mix of excitement and nervousness. He could not stop thinking about the silver ship and the glowing figure from last night. Today he had promised to return to the forest and help Lyra and her people. He packed a small bag with food, water, and a few tools he thought might be useful. As he walked toward the forest, the familiar path seemed different somehow. The trees seemed taller, the shadows longer, and the air heavier, as if it carried a secret. Aaron's heart beat faster with every step. He had never felt so alive and so scared at the same time. When he reached the clearing, he froze. The silver ship was still there, its surface shimmering in the sunlight. Around it, smaller beings moved with perfect coordination. They worked quietly, repairing the ship with glowing tools that emitted soft blue light. None of them noticed Aaron at first. Then from the light, Lyra appeared. Her glowing eyes fell on him immediately. Good morning, Aaron, she said, her voice calm but carrying authority. You came as promised. Aaron nodded, feeling nervous but determined. Yes, I want to help, he said. Tell me what to do. The Queen studied him for a moment, her eyes glowing brighter. First, you must understand our situation. Our ship is damaged, yes, but more importantly, the void is near. It moves faster than you can imagine. It destroys everything in its path. We must repair the ship before it finds us. Aaron swallowed hard. The void. It can destroy planets? He asked, trying to imagine the darkness Lyra had mentioned the night before. Lyra nodded. Yes, it leaves nothing behind. No light, no sound, no life. Only darkness. That is why we travel, searching for safe places and learning about other worlds. And now you are part of that story, Aaron. Aaron felt a mix of fear and pride. Me part of your story? Yes, Lyra said softly. Your courage brought you here. Not all humans would step into the forest alone at night, and not all would help those they barely understand. Aaron looked at the smaller figures working around the ship. They are your people? He asked. They are Salen, Lyra said. They serve our empire, but more importantly, they protect knowledge and life. Each of them is brave in their own way, and each is skilled in tasks that no human can imagine. Aaron felt a thrill run through him. Can I watch them, learn? Lyra nodded. Yes, but you must follow my instructions carefully. One mistake could put everyone at risk. For the next few hours, Aaron observed the Selen warriors. They moved gracefully, connecting glowing panels, adjusting strange machines, and communicating in soft melodic sounds that seemed to echo inside his mind. He tried to understand their work, but most of it was beyond him. Yet he noticed patterns. They repeated certain movements, and their light tools seemed to react to their thoughts. Do you understand what they are doing? Lyra asked, walking beside him. Her presence was warm but powerful, and her glowing eyes made Aaron feel both safe and small. Not completely, he admitted, but I can see they are repairing something important, Yes, she said. They repair the ship, but more than that, they repair hope. That is what we bring wherever we go. Even in darkness, we carry light. Aaron thought about her words. He had never heard anyone speak like that before. Even the village elders never said anything so inspiring. He felt a deep respect for her, but also a strange connection. Suddenly, Lyra's expression changed. She raised her hand toward the sky, and Aaron noticed a flicker of red in the distance like smoke glowing in sunlight. Her glowing eyes narrowed. "They are coming," she said quietly. "The void is near. Aaron, you must stay close to me. This will not be easy." Aaron's heart raced. I won't leave you," he said firmly. Lyra's gaze softened, but she nodded. "Then stay close. Watch and learn, and do not interfere unless I tell you. Remember, fear is natural, but it cannot control you." The next hours passed in tense silence. The Cellin worked faster, their glowing tools moving in smooth patterns, while Aaron tried to keep up with what was happening. Occasionally, Lyra explained some things to him. "This device stores energy," she said, pointing to a panel that glowed with soft blue light. "It is necessary to power the shields. And that panel over there stores knowledge about the stars. We must protect it at all costs." Aaron listened carefully, nodding. He wanted to understand everything, to be part of this moment. He even tried helping by holding tools and passing items to the Cellin warriors. They acknowledged him with small gestures, but their focus remained on the work. Then, just as the sun began to set, a strange vibration ran through the ground. Aaron looked around, noticing that the trees seemed to shiver. A deep hum filled the air, low and powerful. He felt it in his chest, in his bones. "The void is here," Lyra said, her voice calm but firm. "It has found us." Aaron's eyes widened. "Already?" "Yes," she said. "And it is closer than you think. We must act quickly." From the distance, Aaron saw a shadow moving across the sky. It was enormous, dark, and it absorbed light as it moved. The red glow grew stronger, reflecting off the trees. The Cellin formed a circle around Lyra, their glowing tools raised. The air shimmered with energy, and Aaron felt a strange warmth as he stepped closer to her. "You must stay behind me," Lyra said. "Do not try to fight it. Watch and learn. This is a battle you will never forget." Aaron nodded, though fear gripped him. He could feel the power radiating from the Queen, a power he had never imagined existed. She raised her hands, and a bright shield of light spread outward, protecting the clearing and the ship. The red beams from the void struck the shield, shaking the ground, but it held firm. Aaron could hardly believe his eyes. The light was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. It moved and pulsed as if alive. The shadow above the trees hissed and twisted, trying to break the shield, but the Cellin worked together, their energy flowing into the shield. "Look carefully, Aaron," Lyra said. "See how we protect life. See how we fight darkness. This is our way. You must remember it." Aaron watched in awe as the Queen moved with incredible speed, her hands drawing patterns in the air. The shield grew brighter and stronger with every movement. The shadow above them hissed and twisted, but it could not penetrate the light. Minutes felt like hours. Aaron could feel his heart pounding, but he did not look away. He felt a strange connection to Lyra, to the Cellin, and to the universe itself. He realized that there was so much more beyond the stars than anyone in his village could imagine. Finally, the shadow began to retreat. The red glow faded and the vibration in the ground lessened. The clearing was quiet again, except for the soft hum of the Cellin machines. Lyra lowered her hands and the shield disappeared, leaving the field bathed in soft moonlight. Aaron stepped closer, his legs shaking. Did we win?" he asked. Lyra looked at him, her glowing eyes soft but serious. "We have survived," she said, "but the danger is not gone. The void will return, and next time it may be stronger." Aaron nodded, understanding for the first time the gravity of what he had witnessed. I want to help," he said. The Queen smiled slightly, placing a glowing hand on his shoulder. "You will help, Aaron, but first you must learn. You must understand the universe, the stars, and the light that protects life. Then you will be ready." As the night grew darker, Aaron realized that his life had changed forever. He had seen things no human had ever seen, and he had met beings that carried the wisdom of the stars. The forest, once quiet and ordinary, now felt magical, alive with secrets and possibilities. And somewhere above, the silver ship floated silently, waiting for the next moment, the next battle, and the next human brave enough to stand in the light. The night in the forest was quiet, yet the air was heavy with anticipation. Aaron stayed close to the silver ship, his eyes reflecting the soft glow from the Cylon machines. He could still feel the vibration from the Void's attack earlier, and it sent shivers down his spine. He knew that the danger was far from over. Lyra walked silently beside him, her glowing eyes scanning the dark treetops. She moved with grace, her every step almost floating above the ground. "Aaron," she said, her voice calm but serious, "tonight you will learn more than you have ever imagined. The Void will not wait, and neither will our enemies. You must understand our ways if you hope to survive." Aaron swallowed hard. I want to help," he said, though his voice trembled slightly. He had never felt so small yet so alive. The Queen stopped and pointed toward the horizon. There a dark haze moved among the stars, distant but growing. "That is the Void," she explained. "It moves silently but devours everything in its path. Entire planets, entire civilizations gone in an instant. We cannot allow it to reach this world." Aaron's stomach tightened. He could not imagine the emptiness the Void left behind. How do you fight something like that?" he asked. Lyra's glowing eyes met his. "With courage, knowledge, and light," she said. "The Cylon have faced it many times before, but never in a place like this. Every world is different, every moment unique. That is why we must be careful." The Cylon warriors had already begun preparing. Their movements were precise and swift. Each carried a glowing device, some resembling tools, others resembling weapons. Aaron watched as they coordinated silently, their hands moving in patterns that made the air shimmer with energy. He tried to memorize their actions, knowing that even a small mistake on his part could be dangerous. "Aaron," Lyra said, placing a gentle hand on his shoulder. "Fear is natural. But fear must not control you. Observe, learn, and act only when you are instructed. You are part of this now." Aaron nodded, feeling both nervous and determined. He had always been curious about the stars, but now he was part of something far bigger than himself. He followed Lyra as she moved toward a glowing panel on the ship. The panel pulsed softly, almost like a heartbeat. "This is our energy core," Lyra explained. "It powers the shields, the lights, and the tools. Without it, we are defenseless. The Void will try to destroy it first. You must understand its importance." Aaron reached out, touching the cool surface of the panel. It vibrated slightly under his fingers, warm and alive. "It feels alive," he whispered. "Yes," Lyra said. "Everything we build is connected to life, energy, and light. You must respect it." Suddenly, a loud vibration shook the ground. Aaron stumbled but caught himself. In the sky, the red haze of the Void had grown larger. It moved faster now, its dark shadow stretching across the forest. The Cylon raised their tools, and a shield of light expanded around the clearing. The soft glow of the ship intensified, and the air hummed with energy. "The Void is close," Lyra said. "Aaron, stay here. Observe and learn, but do not step outside the shield. One wrong move could be disastrous." Aaron nodded, holding his ground. He watched in awe as the Queen raised her hands, drawing complex patterns in the air. The shield pulsed and grew brighter and stronger with every movement. The dark shadow in the sky twisted and writhed, striking the shield with powerful waves of energy. Aaron felt the vibrations in his chest and stomach. He could see the struggle between light and darkness, and he realized the power of what he was witnessing. Lyra's energy was incredible, yet the Void's presence was overwhelming. It was a battle of pure force, of life against destruction. "Aaron," Lyra said, her voice calm but urgent, "watch carefully. The Void learns, adapts, and evolves. Every strike it makes is precise. But we have something it cannot understand: courage and knowledge combined." Aaron observed the Cylon warriors. They moved with incredible speed, their glowing devices connecting and amplifying the shield. Their energy flowed into the field, making it stronger. He noticed how every gesture, every motion had a purpose. They were not just fighting, they were protecting hope itself. Minutes passed like hours. Aaron could barely breathe as the Void's shadow lashed against the shield. Red sparks flew and the air shimmered with heat and energy. The Queen's face was calm, but Aaron could sense the immense effort it took to maintain the shield. Her glowing eyes were fixed on the darkness above, her hands moving continuously, creating waves of light that pushed back the Void. Suddenly, a smaller shadow broke away from the main mass of darkness and darted toward the ship. It moved faster than anything Aaron had ever seen. Without thinking, he stepped forward, ready to warn Lyra, but a glowing hand stopped him. "Do not interfere, Aaron," Lyra said gently but firmly. "Watch, learn, and trust. Your moment will come." Aaron froze, realizing how much he had to learn. Even though he wanted to help, he had to trust the Queen's judgment. He took a deep breath and stepped back, observing the smaller shadow. The Cellin warriors responded immediately, their devices creating beams of light that intercepted the dark shape. It hissed and twisted, but it could not penetrate their defense. The Queen's voice echoed in Aaron's mind. See how we combine strength and intelligence. We do not fight recklessly. We fight with purpose. Aaron nodded, trying to absorb every detail. He noticed the patterns, the timing, and the coordination. He realized that the Cellin were more than warriors. They were protectors, guides, and teachers all at once. After what felt like an eternity, the smaller shadow retreated back into the main mass of darkness. The red haze in the sky began to shrink, though it still pulsed ominously. The shield remained strong, but Aaron could see the exhaustion in the Queen's movements. Her glowing hands moved slower now, and her eyes flickered with fatigue. Aaron, she said softly, turning toward him, you have seen courage today. You have seen life against destruction. Remember this moment. You are part of a larger story now. Aaron felt a surge of pride mixed with fear. I will remember, he said. I want to help more. I want to learn everything. The Queen smiled faintly. You will, Aaron, but first you must understand one thing. Hope is not given freely. It is earned through action, through courage, and through choices. Tonight you witnessed our actions. Tomorrow you may face your own test. Aaron looked at the shadow in the sky, shrinking but still dangerous. He felt a sense of determination growing inside him. He was no longer just a curious boy from a small village. He was part of something far greater, something that could change the course of worlds. The Cellin warriors began to lower their devices, though the shield remained active. Lyra's eyes softened as she looked at Aaron. You have done well by staying calm and observing. Many humans would have panicked. Many would have run, not you. That is why you are here. Aaron felt a warmth in his chest. He realized that courage was not the absence of fear, but the decision to face it. He had faced the unknown and he had survived. He had witnessed light battling darkness, and he had seen what it meant to protect life. As the night deepened, the forest returned to a quiet stillness. The red haze of the void had receded for now, but the danger remained. Lyra walked with Aaron toward the ship, her glowing presence lighting the path. Tomorrow, she said, we will continue the repairs. We will prepare for the next wave. And you, Aaron, will begin your training. You must learn to move with purpose, to act with courage, and to understand the strength within yourself. Aaron nodded, feeling a mixture of excitement and nervousness. He knew that the coming days would test him in ways he could not imagine. But he also knew that he had found a purpose greater than anything he had known before. The silver ship glowed softly in the forest clearing, a beacon of hope against the darkness. Aaron stood beside it, looking up at the stars, realizing that the universe was far bigger than he had ever imagined, and somewhere far away the void waited, a shadow of destruction, unaware that it would be met with light, courage, and determination. As he lay on the soft grass that night, staring at the sky, Aaron whispered to himself, I am ready. I will not run. I will learn. I will protect. And above him in the silver ship, Lyra watched over him with glowing eyes, knowing that this human had the potential to become more than just an observer. He could become a protector, a guardian of hope, and a part of the light that stood against the darkness. The next morning, the forest was alive with quiet energy. The silver ship gleamed softly in the sunlight, its surface reflecting the green of the trees. Aaron woke early, his mind filled with thoughts of the void and the events of the previous night. He knew that today might be the day the darkness returned, stronger and closer than before. Lyra was already outside the ship, walking with her long, glowing gown flowing behind her. Her eyes shimmered like twin stars, and her presence radiated both calm and power. Aaron, she called, today you will witness the full strength of our people. Watch carefully and remember everything. Aaron ran to her side, feeling both excitement and nervousness. The Cellin warriors had already taken positions around the clearing. Their glowing tools pulsed with soft energy, and the air seemed to hum with anticipation. Aaron noticed how focused and coordinated they were, each movement precise and deliberate. Lyra raised her hands, and a wave of light spread outward, forming a protective dome around the clearing. The light was bright but soft, like sunlight filtered through clouds. The void is near, she said calmly. It knows we are here. It will strike soon, Be ready, Aaron, but do not interfere unless I call you. Aaron nodded, gripping a small flashlight, unsure of what he could do but determined to help in any way he could. He watched as the shadows in the sky began to twist and move faster than he had ever seen. The red haze from yesterday had grown darker and more threatening, spreading across the horizon like a creeping storm. Suddenly, a massive shape appeared, darker than the night, larger than anything Aaron had ever imagined. The void had arrived. Its enormous form blocked out the stars, and its presence made the air vibrate with power. Aaron could feel the energy in his chest and stomach, a mix of fear and awe. Aaron, Lyra said, placing a hand on his shoulder. Remember what I taught you. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is action in the face of it. Watch, learn, and believe in the light. The Selen warriors raised their glowing devices. Each device pulsed in synchronization, sending waves of energy into the shield surrounding the clearing. The shield glowed brighter and brighter, and the air shimmered with pure light. Aaron could see the struggle of forces, the light moving, twisting, and expanding, pushing back the darkness. The void struck first, a wave of red energy blasting toward the shield. The Selen's devices flared, absorbing the impact and sending it back toward the shadow. Sparks flew and the ground trembled. Trees bent under the force of the invisible energy, and small rocks rolled across the clearing. Aaron ducked instinctively, gripping Lyra's hand for support. Do not be afraid, Lyra said, her glowing voice calm and firm. We are stronger than the darkness because we fight for life, hope, and knowledge. Aaron watched as she moved, her hands drawing glowing patterns in the air. The light expanded with every movement, forming complex shapes that twisted and turned like living energy. The shield responded to her gestures, pulsing with brightness that made the shadows of the void recoil. A smaller part of the void broke away from the main mass, darting toward the ship. It moved with terrifying speed, faster than anything Aaron had ever seen. Without thinking, he took a step forward, ready to warn the Queen, but Lyra's glowing hand stopped him. Patience, Aaron, she said gently. Watch and learn. Now is not your time. The smaller shadow struck the shield and sparks of red and blue flew into the air. The Selen warriors responded immediately, creating beams of light that intercepted the shadow, forcing it back into the main mass. The shadow hissed and twisted, but it could not penetrate the shield. Aaron's eyes widened as he realized the complexity of the battle. This was not a fight of strength alone. It was a battle of strategy, precision, and coordination. The Selen moved as one, their thoughts and actions perfectly aligned with the Queen's. The void lashed again, sending a massive wave of darkness toward the clearing. Lyra's hands moved faster, drawing intricate patterns in the air. The shield responded, glowing brighter and stronger with each gesture. Aaron could feel the warmth of the light, a protective force that seemed almost alive. He noticed how the smaller shadows tried to find weak points, testing the shield, but each time they were pushed back. The Queen's energy and the warriors' coordinated efforts kept the shield intact. Aaron's fear slowly turned into awe. He had never seen such power, such skill, or such determination. Aaron, Lyra said, her glowing eyes meeting his. The void adapts quickly. You must learn to see patterns, to anticipate moves, and to understand the strength of unity. That is how we survive. Minutes passed, though it felt like hours. The air shimmered with energy. The ground trembled under the force of the void's attacks, and the Selen never faltered. Aaron's eyes were fixed on the battle, taking in every movement, every gesture, every moment of courage. Then something unexpected happened. One of the smaller shadows of the void broke through the shield for a brief moment. The energy flared, and Aaron felt a rush of panic. He wanted to run, but Lyra's glowing hand stopped him again. Focus, Aaron, she said. Observe. Learn. Courage and knowledge together can overcome fear. The Kellen warriors responded immediately, redirecting their energy to the weak point. The shield flared, pushing the shadow back into the darkness. Aaron realized how precise the Queen's instructions were. One small mistake could have been catastrophic. After what felt like an eternity, the void began to retreat. The red haze shrank, pulling back into the sky. The air trembled one last time, and then the clearing fell silent except for the soft hum of the Selen devices. Aaron could hardly believe what he had witnessed. The dark force that could destroy worlds had been held at bay by light, courage, and precision. Lyra lowered her hands, and the shield disappeared. The Selen warriors relaxed, though their glowing devices still emitted a soft energy. The Queen's face, though calm, showed traces of exhaustion. Aaron stepped closer, his legs trembling. Did we win? He asked, his voice filled with awe. Lyra looked at him, her glowing eyes soft but serious. We have survived this attack, she said. But the void is not gone. It learns, adapts, and returns. Each encounter grows more dangerous. You must understand that our fight is continuous. Courage and preparation are our only defenses. Aaron nodded, feeling a mix of pride and fear. He realized that this battle was just the beginning. But he had learned something invaluable. Strength alone could not defeat the void. It was the combination of courage, knowledge, and unity that created true power. The Queen placed a glowing hand on his shoulder. You did well, Aaron, she said softly. You watched, you learned, and you remained calm. That is the first step toward understanding the power within yourself. One day you will use it to protect others. Aaron felt a warmth in his chest. He knew that he could not fight the void alone, but he also understood that he was part of something greater. He was learning from beings who had faced darkness countless times, and he would not waste this chance. As the sun set, casting long shadows across the forest, the silver ship glowed softly, a beacon of hope. Aaron stood beside it, looking at the stars above. He realized that the universe was vast, filled with dangers and wonders alike, and somewhere above the void waited, a shadow of destruction, unaware that it would be met with courage, unity, and light. Tomorrow, Lyra said, her glowing eyes fixed on the horizon. We will repair the ship further. We will prepare for the next attack, and you, Aaron, will begin your first training. You must learn to move with purpose, to act with courage, and to understand your own strength. Only then will you truly be ready. Aaron nodded, feeling a sense of determination stronger than ever. He had faced fear, witnessed courage, and seen the power of light against darkness. The forest, once ordinary, now felt magical and alive with possibility. And as the night deepened, Aaron whispered to himself, I am ready. I will learn. I will protect. I will stand in the light. Above him in the silver ship, Lyra watched with glowing eyes, knowing that the human beside her was beginning to understand what it meant to face darkness and protect life. The battle was far from over, but hope had found a place in the heart of one small human, and that hope could grow to change everything. The forest was quiet in the early morning, but the air felt alive. Birds chirped softly, and a gentle wind rustled the leaves. Aaron woke with a sense of purpose. Today he would see the final steps of the Salen's repairs and begin the training Lyra had promised. He quickly packed a small bag as he had the previous days and ran toward the clearing where the silver ship glimmered softly under the sun. Lyra stood near the ship, her glowing presence calm and powerful. The Salen warriors moved around her, finishing their last adjustments with glowing devices that hummed like soft music. The air shimmered with energy, and Aaron felt it in his chest. A mixture of excitement and nervousness, Aaron, Lyra said, her voice gentle yet commanding. Today is a day of preparation and understanding. You have learned much, but now you must take your first steps toward true purpose. Aaron nodded, trying to steady his breathing. I am ready, he said, though his hands trembled slightly. He had seen the void twice now, witnessed its destructive power, and felt the weight of responsibility pressing on him. But he was determined to face whatever came next. Lyra smiled faintly and gestured toward a glowing panel on the side of the ship. This is the core of our navigation system. It guides us through the stars and protects us from dangers like the void. Today you will learn how to understand its energy and how it responds to life and courage. Aaron approached the panel carefully. The surface pulsed softly, warm and alive under his fingertips. It feels different, he said quietly. Yes, Lyra replied. It responds to your energy, your intent, your focus. Every action you take affects it. This is how we survive in the universe. We do not rely solely on machines or power. We rely on courage, knowledge, and connection. Aaron concentrated, placing his hands lightly on the glowing panel. He could feel the warmth and the vibration of the energy moving through him. It was as if the ship was alive and sensing him. He realized that this connection was not just technical. It was emotional, spiritual, and powerful. Suddenly, the red haze of the void appeared again on the horizon. It had retreated before, but now it returned, larger and more threatening. Aaron's heart pounded. He could see the enormous shape moving across the sky, its presence dark and overwhelming. Lyra's glowing eyes met his. The void has returned, she said. And this time it is stronger. The battle may be more difficult, but we will face it together. You must remember everything you have learned." Aaron took a deep breath, feeling fear and determination in equal measure. He looked at the Cylon warriors who were calm and focused, their glowing tools ready. He realized that courage was not the absence of fear, it was action despite fear. The void struck first, sending a massive wave of darkness toward the clearing. The shield of light expanded instantly, brighter than ever before. Aaron felt the energy pulse through him as the light absorbed the attack. Sparks of red and blue flew through the air and the ground trembled under the force. Lyra moved gracefully, her hands drawing intricate patterns in the air. The shield pulsed and twisted, bending the darkness back, forcing it away from the ship. The Cylon warriors followed her lead, their movements synchronized, their energy flowing into the shield. Aaron watched closely, remembering her instructions. He noticed the patterns, the timing, and the way the Cylon anticipated the void's attacks. He could feel the rhythm of the energy, the pulse of courage, and the flow of life. "Aaron," Lyra said, placing a glowing hand on his shoulder. "Now you act. Focus, but trust your heart. You have learned enough to make a difference." Aaron nodded, stepping forward cautiously. He placed his hands on the edge of the shield, feeling the energy respond to him. At first it trembled slightly under his touch, but then slowly it pulsed in harmony with him. He could feel his fear melting into determination. The light grew stronger where he connected, pushing back the darkness even more effectively. The smaller shadows of the void darted toward the shield, faster than before, testing the new strength. Aaron focused, moving his hands to guide the energy. To his amazement, the shadows recoiled, unable to penetrate the growing light. Lyra smiled faintly. "Well done, Aaron. You are learning to connect with the light. This is the first step toward true courage and power." The battle continued, fierce and intense. The void lashed at the shield again and again, but the Cylon warriors, Lyra and now Aaron, worked as one. The energy pulsed, twisted and expanded, forming a protective cocoon around the clearing. The shadows shrieked and hissed, unable to break through the combined strength of courage, knowledge, and light. Finally, with one final surge of energy, Lyra directed the combined force outward. A brilliant wave of light shot toward the void, striking it directly. The shadow hissed and twisted, then began to retreat. The red haze shrank and dissolved into the sky, leaving the clearing bathed in soft moonlight. Aaron collapsed to his knees, exhausted but exhilarated. He had faced fear, witnessed courage, and taken part in a battle unlike anything he had ever imagined. He looked at Lyra, who stood gracefully, glowing softly, her face calm but powerful. "You have done well," she said, her voice gentle. "You are learning the ways of the light, and you are beginning to understand courage. Remember this moment, Aaron. It will guide you in the days to come." Aaron nodded, feeling a warmth in his chest. He had learned more in these days than he could have imagined. He had faced darkness, stood beside powerful beings, and discovered that even one human could make a difference. As the forest returned to its quiet state, the Cylon warriors began final repairs on the ship. Lyra approached Aaron and held out a small, glowing crystal. "This is a reminder," she said softly. "It will guide you and remind you of what you have learned. Guard it well, and it may help you protect others." Aaron took the crystal carefully, feeling its warmth and the faint pulse of energy within it. "I will," he said. "I promise." The silver ship, now fully repaired, glimmered in the sunlight. Lyra turned to the Cylon warriors. "It is time," she said. "We must continue our journey. The void will always seek the light, but we will carry it wherever we go." Aaron felt a pang of sadness. He had grown attached to the Queen and her people, but he also understood that their journey must continue. "Will I ever see you again?" he asked quietly. Lyra looked at him with soft, glowing eyes. "Perhaps when your world reaches for the stars. Until then, remember what you have learned. Courage, knowledge, and hope will always guide you." The Cylon warrior stepped onto the ship and Lyra followed. The glowing crystal in Aaron's hand pulsed softly, a small connection to the beings who had changed his life forever. The ship rose slowly, hovering above the clearing. Aaron watched, unable to take his eyes off it as it ascended into the sky. Within moments it disappeared into the stars, leaving only a faint glow and a sense of wonder. Aaron stayed in the clearing for a long time, holding the crystal and thinking about everything he had experienced. He realized that he was no longer just a boy from a small village. He had become part of something bigger, something extraordinary. That night, Aaron lay on the hill behind his home, staring at the sky. The stars seemed brighter, almost as if they were watching him. He whispered softly, "I'm not alone anymore. I will protect what I can. I will be ready." The crystal glowed faintly in his hand, a reminder of courage, light, and hope. Far above, among the stars, Lyra and her people continued their journey, carrying the lessons of bravery and life to worlds far beyond Aaron's imagination. And in that quiet village, under the vast sky, a young human began to understand that even in the face of darkness, light could endure, courage could grow, and hope could guide those willing to stand and fight for it. The adventure was over, but the story had only just begun.